well, if I say that, am I being assertive? Not really. All right. So those mush it up a little. We don't want to use those words. We want to be, you know, more powerful than that when we talk. I know we want to be nice. The problem is a lot of times with assertiveness is that we're worried about, you know, being nice. We're going to talk about that a little more. So we want to clearly communicate our expectations. So let's say they're standing too close to us and we say, we name the offending behavior. You're standing too close to me. So now I want to clearly let them know, move away, or I don't like it, move away, right? I want to be super clear with what I'm saying so they know, all right? I don't want to say, if you don't mind, move away. That's not good. All right. So the thing I always say about qualifiers, this is kind of interesting. Have you ever had like a telemarketer call you, right? Takes forever to get off the phone if you actually talk to them. Actually, nowadays they call and they say, don't hang up. And that just means you can hang up. I actually love the new system they have. All right. So when they call up and they say, don't hang up, this is an important call, I hang up. But anyway, when they used to call and it was hard to get them off the phone, right? I used to play around a little bit, use my qualifiers to see what would happen if I said certain things back to them. And I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just kind of social experiment, you know. But trying different things and seeing how the conversation went and how long it would go. Because, you know, with telemarketers, you can kind of stay on the phone forever if you're not really clear with them. So when you say things that are clear, you kind of stop them in their tracks. And then when you use those qualifiers, then they go with it. It's kind of fun. So you can try it if you want. Anyway, one of the funny things about telemarketers is that they used to always call and say, like, I guess I have a young voice. And they'd be like, is your mom or dad home? And I'd be like, no. And then they'd hang up on me, or they'd say, okay, we'll call back later. And I'd be like, okay. But my mom and dad weren't home and I wasn't lying. And this was like yesterday. So got me off the phone a lot with them, which I appreciated. All right, let's move on. All right. So being assertive sometimes hurts people's feelings. And I know I like to be really nice. I don't really want to hurt people's feelings. But you gotta sometimes, okay? And that's a really important thing to know. That we sometimes we're going to have to hurt people's feelings for the benefit of ourselves, right? We're putting our wishes above theirs. That's when it becomes a self-defense situation. So if I'm putting some stranger's wishes above mine, that's a self-defense situation, okay? So that's when we don't want to do it. If I'm putting my kid before me, that's okay, all right? But not a stranger necessarily. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things, all right? So here's a scenario that I like to use. Usually I like to embarrass somebody in my class, but since I don't have anybody here, let's say I go out on a date with somebody and they put their hand on my knee and I really don't want that. No, I just met them and I don't want that. So I push their hand off my knee, all right? Let me move back a little. My cat here, my cat's not here. All right, so let's say I'm here and they put their hand on my knee and I push it off. And I keep talking, blah, blah, blah. You can tell I talk a lot. And then they put their hand back on my knee. All right. Well, the first time I was trying to be nice and I just moved it off and I didn't say anything. But the second time, I can't just push it off again. I already tried that. It didn't work. So now I have to be like, don't do that. And I push their hand off. Now that was kind of mean, right? And I didn't yell because there are people around, but I was pretty stern with my voice. And I looked at them and I said, don't do that. Okay, now, if they do it again, that's gonna be a real problem, right? And then I'm really gonna have to be super loud or embarrassing or whatever. Even the first time was fine. The second time, don't do that again, right? What do you think's gonna happen? I don't know if we're gonna have a second date. They might already be kind of intimidated or embarrassed. Okay, but if you think about it this way, if we don't have a second date, is it really so bad? If they didn't respect my wishes on something this small and this simple, are they going to respect my wishes on something bigger? Because that's really the problem here, okay? So sometimes we might need to hurt somebody's feelings. How about you're walking down the road, right? And somebody is behind you, right? And you're walking, if this ever happened to you, it happens to me sometimes, and you feel kind of uncomfortable, all right? So the point of this is that your self-esteem has to be strong. If you feel sort of uncomfortable, like somebody's coming behind you, you feel uncomfortable, your self-esteem's going down. If you're letting them do something to you you don't like, even further down. So maybe I turn around and I'm like, hey, but what if they were just walking behind me? So do I need to do that? Probably not. I could just switch the side of the road. And then if they follow me, now it's a little different. But if they didn't follow me, they were just walking, looking at their phone, not paying attention. They got a little too close to me. So there's sometimes when we don't have to like confront somebody. We can just do something different. But sometimes we do have to confront somebody. How about if I'm getting on an elevator? I go to get on the elevator, there's some big scary guy in the elevator, and I go, oh, what happened? I forgot something. I can't get on the elevator if I forgot something. So I turn around and I walk away. But if I get on the elevator with somebody who somehow looked to me scary, and maybe they were the nicest person ever, but something about them made me feel uncomfortable. So I shouldn't get on the elevator. Now, I don't have to be like, I'm not going to get on the elevator with you, right? I could just be like, oh, I forgot something, and then I go. But again, if that person putting their hand on my knee, not a big deal. But if it made me feel bad about the situation, don't let it happen, all right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you have to make people feel bad. Sometimes you might not have to, and that's okay. You try not to, but if you have to, you do. All right. Let's talk about a really good scenario that I like. All right, so you have an aggressive person, because one of the problems with being assertive, especially for women, is if you're an assertive woman, a lot of times people will say, oh, you know, she's a bitch, or she's cold, or they say things about an assertive woman. And that really makes me angry, I gotta say. You know, and if a guy did the same behavior, they wouldn't say that about the guy. Oh, he's just, you know, he's this or that. But the girl she's a bitch, and she's nasty, and she's cold. Or same behavior happens all the time. It really makes me mad, but we'll go on. All right, so let's say we have 3 different people. We have an aggressive person, because sometimes you could be assertive and sometimes you could be aggressive. I don't want you to be aggressive. I want you to be assertive. So there's the aggressive person, there's a passive person, and there's an assertive person. All right, let's do a little scenario. Let's say you're standing in line at the movie theater. All right, you're standing in line at the movie theater with whoever. Let's say your significant other or your friends, okay? And you're the aggressive person, okay? And somebody cuts you in line, all right? So you're the aggressive person, and somebody cuts you in line. That aggressive person, they get all mad, and they're like, bleep, 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 right? And they get all pissed off. All right, and they get all mad at that person, and what happens? Well, maybe that person goes to the back of the line. Maybe that person fights with them, right? Maybe the people that I was with got really embarrassed and they don't want to be seen with me, all right? So things can happen though. If I'm being aggressive towards somebody, that makes them want to be aggressive back. So now there could be an issue, and the movie theater says, okay, you got to leave. We don't want you here. Well, a lot of problems can happen from me being aggressive on that situation, right? So somebody cut in front of me and my first reaction, aggressive, lots of bad things can happen. All right, let's say I'm a passive person and somebody steps in front of me online, all right? And so what do? Well, maybe I kind of look the other way, kind of like it didn't happen, right? Maybe I say to my friend, oh, it's okay, let it go. No, it's okay. It's okay, let it go, right? Okay, so I let it go, and what happened? That person stayed in front of me. We didn't have a fight or anything. I didn't have to go to the back of the line. They didn't go to the back of the line. We didn't get kicked out of the movie theater. You know, we didn't have any fights, nothing like that. Okay, all right. So now let's go now to the aggressive person, to the assertive person. The assertive person, it's online, somebody cuts in front of them. So, so the assertive person assumes like, well, you know, maybe their friends are in front of me, or maybe they didn't see me, or so they say something though. They say, oh, excuse me, I was here online already. And now what happens? That person says, oh, well, these are my friends right here. Or they say, oh, I didn't see you, and they go back to the line. Or they say, I'm gonna hit you, whatever. So saying anything could still cause a fight. I understand that. But maybe they say, okay, hey, I didn't see you, I'm gonna go to the back of the line. Or they say, hey, those are my friends. And then you're like, oh yeah, okay, those are your friends, that's okay, right? So I said something, and now what happens? Let's talk about those 3 people. Okay, the aggressive person, they're probably still pissed off. They didn't get kicked out, they're in the movies though, but they're pissed off. can't believe that person did it to me. And I'm mad, and their significant other not talking to them anymore. They're kind of like, oh, I can't believe you did this again, right? So not great. The passive person is sitting in the movies and they're like, oh, I can't believe I let that happen. I kind of feel really bad about it. I look really stupid in front of my friend, and man, I just feel bad. Why do I always do that? Like, why don't I not stick up for myself, right? So they're thinking about it. And the assertive person, the assertive person. The assertive person, they're eating their popcorn, they're watching the movie. That thing that happened, it happened before, they don't even remember it. They addressed it, they moved on, it's over. You see? So that's how those three people handled it. Two of them are still thinking about it, and the other person, done with it. All right? So at the end, assertive people tend to have fewer conflicts, which translates into much less stress into their lives. Okay, let's move on. All right, so that's it. Let's start stretching out a little bit. Good job. Put away your notebooks. Now, oh, you know what? I want to make sure you guys know. You're going to have a written test. Your written test, we're going to give it to you. Me and Mr. Donovan discussed it. It's going to be given to you. We're going to email it to you on Tuesday, next Tuesday. And you'll have until Thursday to get it back to us. So between Tuesday and Thursday, you have to get it back to us, the test. All right? We're going to talk more about it, but it'll be basically, let's say assertiveness was on the test, okay, that we did today. We'd ask you to write as much stuff about it as you'd like or know, at least 5 points of information. So if you think about each sentence being worth a point, we want at least 5 points of information, and we want you to write about assertiveness. So it's not a specific question. And actually on the lecture I just gave you, you could probably write 15 points of information, okay? And you could write 5 points, and you could write a totally different 5 points of information, all right? So it's not really that hard. We want to make sure that you've been listening and that you have some ideas about some different martial arts and different, ways to not have to fight and talk it out and use your brain and all that sort of stuff. So keep that in mind. You will be having that test. It will be next Tuesday, between Tuesday and Thursday. Alrighty? And also, I'm going to review a bunch of stuff with you today about things that will be on your test, because we're going to start filling out your testing sheets. Mr. Donovan might have already started. What's going to be on your testing sheets? We're going to be checking your Kanan 1. We'll be looking at your basics. We'll be looking at your side fall. We'll be looking at your Kumite, which we've done a couple times. We're going to do it again today. We're going to be, all that stuff. All right? And then at your testing, you'll be doing all that stuff and also some physical stuff, that you do in class all the time. So basically, you had everything you need to know for your test, and you're going to do really well, so no worries. But if you have any worries, talk to me or Mr. Donovan, and we will work it out with you. All right? So here we go. Step back for a second. Let's do a tiny bit of warm-up. Actually, let's start our warm-up with some Kumite drills. All right? What's Kumite? Kumite is the same as sparring. Right, Mr. Levis? Mr. Donovan told you about Kumite, right? All right, so let's get our guard, okay? So we can do warm up this way. Everybody guard up. Okay, now, Mr. Levis, come over here. So we should be thinking about envisioning our partner, okay? Somebody we're sparring with. So I actually have a partner. I'm lucky. Step that way. We both put our guard up. All right. So when we spar, we want you to do combinations of 2 or more techniques. But I don't want to see you do 10 techniques. That's too much. I should be able to go in, do a few things, and then he should be able to come in and do a few things. Also, we don't want to just be forward and back. We want to be, to here, to the side, get out of the way. He comes in. I want to block. And he comes in. I can block. Now, you guys don't have a partner, so you're thinking, how's that person coming in? How do I defend against it? How do I come back with techniques? Defend, get out of the way, kick, right? So you're thinking about your combinations and also what combinations they're throwing at you, all right? So again, your guard is up, and you come in and you do a couple techniques, and then they come in and do a couple techniques, and then you do a couple techniques, and they do a couple techniques. All right, my son likes to hit me. You can see that. He's very good. Very enthusiastic about that. All right, so now I want you guys to do that. You ready? Guard is up. I don't even want you to do it with me. I want you guys to envision somebody who's not there. I'm not even going to punch you. The invisible person is going to punch you, and I'm going to watch you do your combinations. Go. You should do a combination forward and then a defensive one. Aggressive, defensive, offensive, not aggressive. Offensive, defensive. Go. And you should key eye. Keep your guard up all the time. When you're kicking, keep your guard up. Don't do this. Keep your guard up. Throw techniques and go right back to your guard. Throw techniques, go right back to your guard. Go ahead, I'm watching. And move around, and don't just move forward and back. Good job, Miss Celeste.
Mr. Lopez has some nice kicks.
That was a nice high-low, Mr. Schnapps. That's exactly what we want. Remember, not just forward and back, move side to side. Good, and guard up in between.
That's a good switch between offensive and defensive, Miss Parasoto. Did you just elbow strike, Miss Celeste? That is not allowed in Kumite.
All right, Mr. Lopez, you're not wearing fluffy gloves, so take your hands away from your face.
Important to remember, there are no elbow strikes and no knee strikes.
Go, go, go. Mr.
In
Smith.
free sparring. We should have told you at some point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No elbows. I would have thought Mr. Donovan told you that for sure. And we don't throw people in our regular Kumite either, just in case we didn't tell you that. Or takedowns. We don't do takedowns. Mr. Lopez, stop that.
Are not knee strikes, but are knee blocks okay if someone's trying to kick you?
And you can block with your knees, but it could hurt. But yeah.
Miss Sia, don't hurt your daughter. She's basically a nice person.
Keep going. You're supposed to be warming up. Don't stop.
Oh my God. Okay.
Keep going. Keep going. Good job, Miss James. You got it. So you should be getting tired. That's why you're doing this. Guess what? When you're in a fight, 1 minute of real fighting is pretty exhausting. And I don't even think you've been doing a whole minute yet, just so you know. So keep going. I'm not tired at all right now. No. Keep your guard up in between.
Keep those hands up in front of you and try to alternate between punches and kicks also. Don't just be all punches or all kicks. And use both sides, left side, right side. Be versatile. Miss Celeste, keep moving. There you go.
Keep your guard up. Beat. Beat. Oh. Don't hurt yourself. I'm not hurting myself. I'm hurting you. Beat. Beat. Beat.
Nice back kick, Mr. Schnapps.
Okay, good. That's good, bud. All right, good stuff. Great job, you guys. So that's a little Kumite. I hope that helped you. I know a couple of people have talked to me during the week about how it's kind of hard to think about it. You got to use your imagination when nobody's in front of you, right? All right, let's work on our basics. All right, we're going to go through them nice and quick, though. If you have any questions, raise your hand, and Mr. Donovan will answer your question. Here we go, ready position. Basic number 1, right side, straight forward punch. Each, knee, song. Other side, each, knee, song. Basic 2, step forward right, uppercut right. Each, knee, song. Opposite side, each, knee, song. Good, basic number 3. Step right, drop your hip, punch, use your hips. Each, knee, song. Good, opposite side. Each, knee, song. Good.
Make sure that all those techniques are on the center line. Try not to punch in front of your shoulder, and any punches happen just to the top of the stomach.
Okay, good. Base number 4, step right, drop your hip, uppercut to somebody's chin. Opposite. Each, knee, your front foot, one punch. Each. Knee. Song, turn that chest, get out of the way. Opposite side. Each, turn your chest. Knee. Song.
Make sure that back foot is straight.
Basic 6, step back, smash down. Lock to the front leg. Punch, pull back, step back up. Each, smash, block. Knee. Song. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Song. Good job. Number 7, it's like number 6, but our hands are open. Come to catch. Step back with your right leg, come to catch. Block across your body, hand open, facing down. Pull and strike with a palm strike with your fingers to the side. And step up. Each. Knee. Song. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Song. Good. All right, basic 8 is just like number 7, except we go up to the chin with our fingers facing up. Each, step back right, lock, knee, song, chi. Okay, opposite side. Each, knee, song, chi. Good. Basic number 9. Only one we don't block our front leg. You guys should know these basics out of order at this point. If you don't, you got to practice some more, okay? So 9 is the only one that we don't block our front leg. Actually, let me go really quick. 1 and 2 are similar, right? 1 is lower. I always say a way to remember is to climb the ladder of success. Climb the ladder of success. 1 is here. Number 2, we go up the ladder. It's a higher strike, okay? 3 is just number 1. 4 is just like number 2. Okay, 5, our main focus is a low block, right? 6, we go up the ladder. So our main focus is a middle block, okay? 7 is like 6, but our hands are open. 8, go up the ladder, right? Our main focus is the higher strike. 9, doesn't go with anybody. The only way to remember it is the only one that doesn't block to the front leg. Okay? So now let's do 9. Here we go. Stepping forward with your right foot. Left hand does the block. Make sure 2 bones are showing. Pull in and punch back to the center. Here we go. Each. Knee. Song. Chi. Go. Good. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Song. Chi. Go. Good. All right. How do we remember number 10? It doesn't really go with any other ones either. And I have a lot of good musical references for memory aids. So number 10, maybe Hammer Time, okay? Or maybe you think Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I like that one. All right, number 10, we step forward with the right foot. Hand comes all the way up. Hammer strike and retract. Pull it in and punch. Here we go. Each. Knee. Song. Chi. Go. Good. Upside. Each. Knee. Song. Chi. Go. Good. Number 11 is like number 6, right? So we step forward. It's like number 5, except number 11 is like number 5, except we step forward instead of back, and we do 5 punch instead of 1. Here we go. Stepping forward with our right foot. Ki on the last punch. So I'm going to say each as soon as we start, and you're not going to say each until the last punch. All right, here we go. Each. Lower block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each. Good. Knee. All the punches go to the same spot. Son. Hey. Opposite side. Each. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong one. No, I'm skipping ahead. Same one. Knee. Inside middle block, lower block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. Good. Son. Hey. Good. Now number 12 is like number 11, or it's like number 6. We step forward, we smash down, we block up, we do 5 punches all to the same spot. Ki on the last punch. Here we go. Each. Each. Knee. We are going to be grading you on your TIs, by the way. You don't have to be super loud, but we want you to be TI. Song. Good. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Song. Good. All right. Basic number 13. All right. We're gonna step with our right foot. We parry. We do a round punch low and a round punch high. How do I remember this one? It's another musical reference. This is Justin Timberlake. You guys know Justin Timberlake? All right. Bring sexy back. Okay, so it looks like a Justin Timberlake move. Of course, not when you do it, because you make it look so fierce. So that's good. All right, so here we go. Right hand parry, step to the right. Round punch, use your hips. Round punch high. All right, here we go. Each.
Keep looking at the person that you're hitting. Don't look away.
On.
Good.
Chi. Those backs of your hands should be facing you. Go. Back of your hand should face you. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Let's move into the breakout room with Mr. Donovan. Song. Chi. Go. Okay. Mr. Donovan is going to go to a breakout room with Mr. Smith. I'm going to miss you guys.
Okay, they're sent.
All right, we're going to do basic 14. So here we go. We're going to step forward with our right foot. Everybody do that with me. Hand comes up. Shuto out and back. Other hand back. Shuto down. All right, here we go. Each. Knee. Nice form, Miss James. Great. Son. Miss Salco, good job. Chi. Go. Good. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Song. Chi. Good job, Mr. Franzetti. Go. Awesome. All right, basic number 15. We're going to look over our shoulder. We're going to step back, hit them with our hip, and elbow strike. Remember, we're pulling and striking. Keep your hand up nice and high. Don't let it drop down. Are you ready? Here we go. Each. Good. Knee. Song. Chi. Go. Opposite side. Each. Knee. Song. Chi. Go. All right. Here we go. Pin on number 1. All right. I'm going to face that way. I'll call the count. We're going to do it together. Here we go. Pin on number 1. Hikodachi. Each. Catch and say each. Knee. Middle block punch. Song, look over your right shoulder. Catch and look. Chi, draw a rainbow. Move your left foot so it becomes the front foot to the side. Middle block, 5 punches. Leave your hand out. Go. and look. Hutch, side blade kick, put it behind you. Coup, turn on the balls of your feet, overhead, punch, TI. And Jude, back to ready. And relax. Now you guys, I know you all recognize that when we do, if I do it this way, watch. When I do 8, I do my side blade kick, I turn. My overhead block is not my number 9 overhead block. This would be number 9 overhead block, right? You guys understand that, right? We're doing just a regular overhead, not a number 9 overhead. So we're doing it with our front foot, which is a little weird. You guys should have questioned me on that. Like, wait, why are we doing that? At the dojo, this is our number 9, all right? But we have you guys doing it a little bit more advanced, okay? All right, any other questions on Pin on Wando? We're gonna do it again, but does anybody have any questions? All right, Miss Sia has a question, Miss Lux.
I mean, she has permission to unmute herself, but.
Okay, you have to unmute yourself. Miss Sia, you gotta unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. You said you had a question, Mom?
Yeah, can we do that again so that the turn and the which way we're facing is a little confusing for me?
Okay, so let's break it down. The first move you guys do, okay, you do to the front. And which basic is it? Raise your hand if you know which basic it is. Okay, Mr. Lopez, show me with your fingers which basic it is.
It's 5 with the 5 punches.
Mr. Lopez, it's number 11. So our first one is number 11. Everybody do it with me. Here we go, number 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm mirroring you guys. We catch and look. When we go to turn, which basic are we doing?
I don't fucking know.
Which
Number
basic are we doing?
12?
Well, no, we're doing number 6 because there's only one punch. All right. It is the same as number 12, except only one punch. All right, and then we're doing, so when we do that one, I think you're good on that one. Then we do number 15. This is the one I really want you guys to think about. Look, after number 15, this foot, my left foot moves, and I like to say we're drawing a rainbow, okay? And my back foot turns so that we're in Seisan to the side. A lot of you guys are stepping with the wrong foot. If I step with the wrong foot, it moves me to a totally different space. You understand what? Look at my feet, you guys. If I move this way, it's totally different than if I move this way. You see the difference? And the reason the pin-ons are important is because they show you different ways to step and pivot. So everybody do it with me. Let's say we all did our number 15, and we catch and we look to our left. We're gonna take our foot. You can unmute. You can mute them now. We're gonna move it over and turn the back foot so we're in Seisan. Now we do our middle block, our number 12, and we do our 5 punches. All right, good. And from there, we get, this one's not a number, it's a bonus kick, side blade kick. And then 5 more punches. We can say that was 5 number 1s. And then we step forward and we do an uppercut. What number is that? Number 2. And then we catch and look, and we do another bonus kick. And then we turn, and we do our number 9, but it's not really our number 9, but it's still number 9, and we punch in ki, and we go back to ready, and we relax. All right, let's do the whole thing again, and I'm not gonna talk at all. Let me know if you have any questions. Here we go. Pick it up. Each, knee, song, chi, go, rope, seach, touch, two, and chew, back to ready, and relax. All right, questions on that? I'm gonna have you do it again, and this time I'm just gonna watch you, okay? All right, so. here we
So,
go.
now on the test, will you give the numbers, Mrs. Levitz, or do we say the numbers?
And I think on Tuesday, you guys, we're gonna do it without the count. So if you wanna practice it without the count, you can. The count will be just a good learning tool, and you'll use it again in the future, just in classes, but it's a good learning tool, but we also do it without the count. And actually, most of the time we do it without the count. But I think it was a good way for you guys to learn it. So now you can start practicing it without the count. And on Tuesday, we're all going to do it together without the count. So that's your warnings for that. All right, here we go. Let's do it again with the count, though. Okay, get ready. Okay, relax position. Stand up straight. Here we go. Hiko dots. Each. Me. Song. She. Go. Rope. 4 punches. There you go. Siege, uppercut. Catch and look. Catch and look. Hodge, side blade kick. Nope, side blade kick with your back foot. The foot that's there, which is your left foot. Your left foot should be doing a side blade kick. There you go. Coup, turn, overhead block, punch. And Ju, back to ready. And relax. Okay, let's do it again, slower. Don't be in such a rush. Every time somebody's in a rush, it always takes them longer. So don't be in a rush. Let's do it again. Here we go. Hiko dots. We're going to pause in between counts this time. Real pauses for some of you guys. Okay, here we go. Each. Knee. Song. Okay, now this is the one that I want to see on the next count. I want to see that foot, your left foot moves, is the moving foot, and your right foot is just the pivot foot. Here we go. Chi. Go. Rope. Seek. Catch and lock. Good. Hotch. Side blade kick. There you go. And it should, the side blade kick should go forward towards me, right? If you're looking straight on the camera, just so you know. All right. And coup. Overhead block. Punch. Ju, step back. And relax. All right. Nice job. Any questions on that? Okay. So on your own now, you can practice that all together without count. However you want to do it, you can bring them back and stuff.
Yep.
All right. We're going to do, let's practice our side fall again, okay? I know you practiced it a couple times. Let's see how it looks. So, everybody, yeah, point your camera down so I can see you this time. If you're on a wood floor, be careful, okay? All right. Mr. Smith and Mr. Donovan, we're going to practice our side falls again. So find a clear space. Mr. Donovan, if you could help us by talking, that'd be great. All right, everybody lay down on your side. And your arm should be next to you, Mr. Lopez. Look at me, Mr. Lopez. Watch. My arm is next to me. It's not up high and it's not under me. It's next to me. My foot should be up or it can be down, but it can't be up or down in the same line as my other foot.
Miss Celeste, that looks right.
My other hand is up in the guard and my head is up, but I don't want my head to touch the floor.
Miss Parasoto, that looks good. You could pick that protective arm up a little bit more. Great.
All right, now guys, switch sides.
Miss Sia, if you don't land on your elbow, see how you're holding yourself up on your left elbow? You actually land on your side completely. So you have to stretch your arm out and lay on your side. And then that hand comes closer to your body, the one that you have stretched out on the ground. Bring it closer, that arm, closer to your body, but still on the floor. Still flat on the floor, but just closer to your body.
Yeah.
There you go. Looks better. Good. Mr. Plaster, pick that up above your head a little bit more, that protective arm. Right. There you go.
I can sort of hear you.
Switch sides.
It's hard to hear you, Mrs. Levitz, over me talking so much.
I told them you talk a lot. Switch sides. Switch sides. How's Mr.
Pick up the protective hand, Mr. Franzetti. Pick it up over your head. Somebody's going to try to stomp you like in the movie Goodfellas. There you go.
Switch. Switch. Switch.
Mr. Lopez, you could bring that outstretched arm a little closer to your body. That's it. Great.
Switch.
Mr. Snops, make sure that you have that hand flat on the floor. Good, good.
Okay. All right.
Miss James, that looks right. Yeah.
Any questions on that? No? Okay. Good job. All right.
Mr. Smith, I'm sure you were doing a great job. I just couldn't see you. And Mrs. Levitz, Miss Parasoto had a question.
Okay. You want to unmute Ms. Parasoto?
Everybody can unmute themselves.
You should turn on. Hello.
Hi. Does it matter what your bottom leg does, whether it's bent or out straight?
Your bottom leg should be bent. You don't want it to be out straight. If it's out straight, you end up hitting your heel harder. Your heel would end up hitting harder when you fall over. All right? So you want it to be a little bent. This is the same position that we end up doing from forward roll. And I know we didn't teach you forward roll yet. And I know we showed it to you. But if you can see, I don't know how to make you see it, but watch, I'm gonna land in the same position when I do my forward roll as I would for my side fall. All right, I don't know which way to do it though. I'll help you see it the best. Are you ready? Watch, here we go. Can you see me at all or no?
Yeah, kind of.
See, this is the same position that I just fell in. Look, and this, I fell just like this. Same position, all right? So it's important to have that correct. And if my leg is out too straight, I end up smacking it on the floor when I do my forward roll. I end up smacking my ankle, all right? Okay. Did we bow in? I don't know, let's bow for the heck of it. Here we go. So this is bowing in and out, maybe because I don't remember bowing in. Did we bow in? Does anybody remember? All right, here we go. Right, bow. Hold on, I'm gonna turn to the picture. Right. Bow. All right, now you guys can answer or ask us some questions. Miss Levitt, you have to switch the co-host to the host to Mr. Donovan. Please.
I do.
And, all right, so if you have a question, you can unmute yourself.
I have a question. When we're not counting for Pinon 1, are we keying instead?
When you're not doing the count in pin on number 1, there's only one key eye, and that's at the final punch of the entire form.
Okay.
Normally we key eye with the count at the end of each count, but when you're not doing with the count, just one key eye at the end. Unless you count when you first go into ready position. There's a key eye there at the beginning too. And then?
Hi.
Hi.
Is there anything else I should not do during kumite sparring? I didn't know.
Okay, so we talked about some of the rules in kumite, which are you don't hit below the belt, we don't actually strike the head, although we do target it, and that it's light contact to the body. We don't do anything to the back. We don't do anything to the back or the top of the head. You shouldn't be doing elbow strikes, knee strikes, or grabbing, or knocking people down. So
Or throwing.
basically, or throwing, is that what you said?
Right, or throwing.
No throwing or knocking people down, or sweeping.
Sweeping, that's what I was thinking when you said knock people down. Okay,
So you're allowed to punch and kick and
Yeah.
block, of course.
but see how we kept it positive? We told you all the things you could do. We kept it really positive, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't say, don't do this, don't do that. We were like, do this stuff, do it. You see? Very positive people.
You can throw all the punches and kicks you want.
Can we talk a little more about that written test?
Sure, all
Okay.
you have to do is remember everything that either of us ever said.
Even when we went on and on and on, you just,
Yeah, no, great. Like, terrible listening is a strong suit of mine.
Do you remember when we begged you to get a pen and paper because we were going to talk?
Yes, but
It's,
we didn't go into history of me being a terrible note taker. So I can show you my notes. They're just not very good notes.
Well, I believe that there will be some choices, as to what questions you answer.
Right.
Is there
we're-
a study guide? Let's just get to the point. Is there a study
there
guide?
are all these awesome videos. I star in the Thursday video, and Mr. Donovan stars in the Tuesday, and you can rewatch them if you want. But technically, Google is a very helpful thing as well if you technically don't remember. And we're not going to make you answer every single one, so we'll let you opt out of a few. You know what I'm saying? So if we've talked about 14 things, we're only going to have you pick 10 things that we talked about. You see? Yeah.
Spelling's my challenge for some of the names.
That's okay.
We actually won't hold that against you because a lot of these things are Japanese. So they're actually spelled with a bunch of squiggles and dots. And I don't know how to do that.
I can't spell in English, so.
Okay, so spelling and grammar doesn't count. That's good to know.
If we can kind of tell what you mean, you'll get credit.
Okay.
But if you're typing it, autocorrect can change some of your Japanese words into other words. So keep that in mind.
So like, all right, so if I answer like, oh, the Indian guy that took stuff to China, like that, would that be acceptable?
That's pretty impressive.
Kind
There are a lot of martial arts practitioners who don't know what the hell you're talking about right now, but everybody here has some clue.
Yep. All right. Mr. Franzetti, you had a question?
Oh, yeah, no, on the written test. So it's essentially open book. So if you're taking good notes, why?
It's open book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't do open book, but you guys have a lot of stress going on. So I thought we thought that would be more giving if we let you do it open book. Know what I mean? We want to make sure you know stuff, but we don't want to stress you out. So
Okay, yeah, that's fair. 'cause I've
write
been
it down and give it to us. We know that you knew it somehow. That's fair.
Yeah, because I'm not bragging, but I've been taking meticulous notes on the whole thing.
Fantastic.
Well, I'm looking forward to your answers then.
Could you send those to me, Mr.
Yeah,
Franz?
I wanted to say, can I get
Missed.
And God bless you if you can read my handwriting. That's the
can
only.
I get on that note list?
Like Mrs. Levitt said, she wants you to know the material. That's the point. We're not trying to snag you or catch you out there. So
Sure.
our goal as instructors is to make sure that you know the things that we taught. So one of the reasons for giving you this take-home open book test is so that you learn. You can learn at the time if you don't know already. You can look up some of the stuff. You know that instructor, Mrs. Google? She's awesome. Awesome. She knows everything.
I Google everything all the time. Google and I are like this.
Yeah. Don't ask Miss Alexa. She never knows anything.
Neither does Miss Siri. Neither does Miss,
Oh yeah, Miss Siri. Yeah, there's lots of people you can talk to about this stuff.
not Miss Siri.
I'm sorry, I can't help you with that right now.
Working on it. Working on it. That's what she
I
says.
do have one question. Only one.
You're not in this class. I don't know if I could let you answer it. I don't know if I can answer it for you. All right, what?
So I'm just gonna put this down a little bit. In regards to your side fall. So
Yeah.
just to make sure I have this right, the body is all connected to the floor, correct?
But right now, there you go. Good.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I realized I'm like, that's not right. So I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it correctly, especially because it could be beneficial for other people in this class, especially one that happens to be right next to me.
Yeah. That's good. And your arm could be up in a guard, the front arm.
I did.
No, not the bottom arm, but the top arm. Like it could, your elbow could be down, no? Or is it maybe my